Mum, I already turned on my sister Scarlett's keyboard to show her the battery just before it died.
Yeah, Malcolm, it's probably dead. And I don't know why it kept doing that. So Malcolm, can you tell me who did this to your sister?
Sure, Mum, I can do that. It looks like Sid, who is Toy Story's main antagonist and Andy's rival, just unplugged her keyboard and killed the battery. So it died, not once, not twice, but 3 times.
What? Are you kidding me right now? Why the hell did Sid do that to your sister? He should know that unplugging people's keyboards is not allowed, because it kills the battery.
Yes, I know. And Dad, has anyone seen Scarlett?
Malcolm, I'm so sorry to tell you this, but your sister is in her room crying, so I'm afraid she's too sad to talk to us, and it's almost bedtime anyway.
Oh my god, I'm sorry to hear that, and thank you for reminding me. And, I already gave her a box of tissues in case she started crying.
That's very nice of you, Malcolm. We cannot believe Sid did that to your sister.
I know, Mum. So tomorrow, while you're calling the principal, is it okay if I can bring her keyboard to school? Because I want to show them proof of what happened to her.
That's a good idea.
Malcolm, what are you doing here? And why is your sister's keyboard at school?
Oh, I will tell you why. Would it be okay if you turn it on? Because last night at the Christmas store, I already turned it on, and the battery was at 0% before it turned off.
Sure I can, Malcolm.
Thanks, Mrs. Jaffe.
Oh, for crying out loud. Malcolm, thank you for showing us proof of what happened to your sister Scarlett. We can't believe someone ruined her music by unplugging her keyboard and killing the battery.
Yes, I'm Mr. Klutz. What do you need? Sid Phillips. Yes, what about him? What? He did something bad to your daughter Scarlett. Like what? He did what? Oh, my goodness gracious. I can't believe he ruined your daughter's music by unplugging her keyboard and killing the battery last night. Thanks for calling me about this, Christine Dovey. I'll report Sid to my office at the end of the day. I have to go now. Goodbye, and have a nice day.
So Malcolm, is it true that Sid ruined your sister's music by unplugging her keyboard and killing the battery last night?
Yes, I'm afraid he did.
Goodness gracious heavens. You have got to be kidding us right now. We can't believe he did that to your sister Scarlett. Don't worry, he'll be in so much trouble once Mr. Klutz reports him to his office at the end of the day.
You may go back home now.
Excuse me, Mr. Klutz, Mrs. Jaffe and Dr. Brad, but did I just hear that Sid ruined my friend Scarlett's music by unplugging her keyboard and killing the battery last night?
Yes, he did, Isaiah.
And don't worry, once Mr. Klutz reports him to his office at the end of the day, he'll be in so much trouble.
Wow! Everyone knows me now. It's like I'm famous. Isn't this great, Randall?
Yeah, I think so.
Sid Phillips, I need you to come with me to my office. Now. I just took a call from Christine Dovey about what happened to her daughter Scarlett last night. She was very upset, and so are Dr. Brad and I.
What are you talking about?
You ruined Scarlett's music.
Look at her keyboard that her brother Malcolm just brought to school this morning.
But before you do, I have to tell you something. You see, I already turned it on, and the battery was at 0%, just before it turned off again. Do you want to turn it on and see the battery?
Okay.
This was supposed to be expensive, and you just unplugged it and killed the battery.
I really have no idea.
Save it. You are officially
suspended from school for 2 weeks.
And we expect a full apology to Scarlett.
Yes, guys.
So Sid, what did they have to say?
I'm kicked off. I don't even know what they're talking about.
Isaiah Jero Marsman. can you please report to my office? We need to tell you something important.
Okay, Mr. Klutz, Mrs. Jaffe, and Dr. Brad, I'm here. Am I in trouble?
No, Isaiah, you're not in trouble. The reason we called you here is that
We had a chat with Sid on Scarlett's keyboard. See, we told him it was supposed to be expensive, and he just unplugged it and killed the battery.
Yes, I already know about that. He must owe my friend Scarlett an apology for hurting her feelings.
we know Isaiah. Don't worry, he's suspended from school for 2 weeks for what he did to poor Scarlett last night.
That's good. This will teach him a lesson for unplugging her keyboard and killing the battery.
Anytime, Isaiah. You may go home now.
What do you mean he was playing on Scarlett's keyboard at school? He ruined her music by unplugging it and killing the battery last night? Okay. Really? I am so sorry about her. I know I don't. I know, Christmas break is only 3 weeks away. Okay, did he get in trouble? Oh, don't you worry. He's grounded, he is so grounded. I know. Okay, thank you so much for calling me, I am. Don't you worry, I am just so upset with this, because he keeps making fun of Scarlett. He's in big trouble. I will talk to him as soon as I get off the phone. Yes. Thank you for calling. Okay. Bye-bye.
So honey, has our son Sid been suspended from school for 2 weeks for what he did to poor Scarlett last night?
Yes, he has.
Oh my god! He is definitely in big trouble.
I know, right? I cannot believe he did that to her. So I'm going to have to go get him. He's with Zeta? He's in trouble? He's going to be grounded, and I'm done with him making fun of Scarlett. I'm taking everything away from him. He's in so much trouble.
Good idea. Sid is going to be punished for his suspension, and he has to apologize to Scarlett too, right?
That's correct.
Did I just hear that my older brother ruined Scarlett's music last night?
Yes, he did, Hannah.
Oh my goodness. How dare he do this to her? He should know that he's not allowed to unplug her keyboard and kill the battery, because that hurts her feelings.
We have to agree with that. Her keyboard was very expensive, and the battery was expensive. So if you don't mind, I have to go talk to your brother.
By the way, honey, did Malcolm bring his sister's keyboard to school and show it to the principal as proof?
That's right. He did the right thing, 'cause our son ruined her music last night. Now I must leave.
Sid, are you feeling all right? What's wrong?
Zeta, I'm afraid I have no choice to say this, but it appears that I was suspended from school for 2 weeks for what I did to Scarlett last night. And the principal told me to look at her keyboard that Malcolm brought to school this morning, since he got a call from Mrs. DeVay about what happened.
Wait, what the heck? No. How dare Malcolm do that? He should know that bringing stuff to school is not allowed, because the rule says, no electronics during lessons. Thanks for telling me about it. I'll have to tell Smithy, so he can punish him.
Excuse me, Zeta, but I don't think you can do that. Plus, Malcolm did the right thing, because Sid ruined his sister's music by unplugging her keyboard and killing the battery last night. So, as the principal said, he must order an apology.
I beg your pardon, but I am not talking to you. Thank you.
Hey. Zeta, what did you do?
That's none of your business right now.
Zeta, stop now. As narrator said, Malcolm did the right thing, 'cause our son Sid ruined his sister's music by unplugging her keyboard and killing the battery last night.
Excuse me, but what are you doing here?
I came here to talk with Sid. See, I just got a call from the principal and he said he ruined Scarlett's music last night.
That's right. So, as the principal said, he must owe her an apology for what he did.
Thanks, Dylan. As for you, Sid, I'm very upset with you right now. I can't believe you did this to poor Scarlett by unplugging her keyboard and killing the battery. Is this true? And be honest.
Yes, Mom, it's true. I did this to her because that music on her keyboard was so annoying, and I didn't like it. So there, you now know the truth.
I love your honesty, and I love how the way you told me the truth, but I don't appreciate what you did.
Yes, Ed, that keyboard is not for you to touch. The reason is that it's only for Scarlett to touch, so she can listen to her music.
Absolutely. Music always makes her feel special, and you just ruined it. Thanks to you, Scarlett ended up being sad. How could you ever do this to her? You are in deep trouble now, young man. You don't ever touch her keyboard again, do you understand?
Yes, Mr. and Mrs. Casagrande.
That's what we wanted to hear.
Yeah. So just for that, you are grounded until your suspension is over.
That's right. And when it's over, you must owe my brother's friend Scarlett an apology.
I agree what Araya said. Now come with me. Your father and sister are waiting for you.
I'm sorry, but I'm afraid I cannot let you do that.
Hey, knock it off. Dark Bowser, like Araya said, Sid must owe her brother's friend Scarlett an apology. The reason is that he ruined her music by unplugging her keyboard and killing the battery last night.
Yeah, so after his suspension is over, let him apologize to my friend Scarlett.
No, my father is right. Malcolm should know he's not allowed to bring things to school, because the rule says there are no electronics during class.
That's right. Now let Zeta tell Smithy, so he can punish Malcolm.
Alright guys, that is enough. Now you are pissing me off. Let my son apologize to Scarlett after his suspension is over, and that's the end of it. Now please let us go.
Wait a minute, Zeta?
What the heck?
Mrs. Casagrande, are you okay? Why do you look so angry?
Dylan, where is Zeta?
I think she's going to tell Smithy, so he can punish Malcolm.
What? No. Thanks for telling me. That sneaky sorceress is not going to get away with this.
Why hello Zeta, how can I help you today?
Hi Smithy, I need to tell you something important.
Okay, then what is it?
You see, Sid just informed me that Malcolm brought his sister's keyboard to school this morning, just because he wanted to show it to the principal as proof.
Wait, Malcolm did what? Oh, for crying out loud. How dare he bring his sister's keyboard to school to get Sid in trouble? He should know that bringing stuff to school is not allowed, because the rule says, no electronics during lessons. Don't worry, I'll tell Mr. Kuyak to call Sue to send him to Iqaluit right away.
Thank you, Smithy.
Hello, who is this?
Hi Mr. Kuyak, this is Smithy, and you are not going to believe what Malcolm did.
Okay, then what did he do?
You see, I believe he brought his sister's keyboard to school this morning, all because he wanted to show it to the principal as proof.
What? Why the hell did Malcolm bring his sister's keyboard to school? He should know that bringing stuff to school is not allowed, because the rule says, no electronics during lessons. So don't worry Smithy, I'll call Sue to send him to Iqaluit right away.
Thank you Mr. Kuyak. Bye.
Excuse me Smithy, but what did you just do?
Stop it Mrs. Casagrande, that's none of your business right now.
Smithy, knock it off. Tell us, now.
Alright, fine. I called Mr. Kuyak to call Sue to send Malcolm to Iqaluit, because he brought his sister's keyboard to school this morning when the rule prohibited electronics during lessons.
We beg your pardon, but he does not understand the school rules. Besides, he's a little boy, and he can do whatever he wants.
I don't care about that.
No, you need to care. The reason he did the right thing by bringing his sister's keyboard to school is because Sid ruined her music by unplugging it and causing it to die last night.
I'm sorry Mr. and Mrs. Casagrande, but Malcolm needs to be sent to Iqaluit for this. So Mr. Kuyak is calling Sue to send him to Iqaluit right now. So I'm afraid you are going to have to deal with it.
Come on, we are not going to deal with this crap. Seriously, Smithy, we are not going to tell you again. Malcolm doesn't want to live in Iqaluit because it's way too cold for him. And also, the heater of his thermostat must remain at 20 degrees Celsius, and the air conditioner must remain at 26 degrees Celsius.
Well, that's too bad, because the League of Entitled Karens are going to get his suitcase ready, so they can go to his room and pack everything up in it. Then, they can call Air Canada van to come and take it to the plane called Air Canada. Finally, they can lower the heater to 7 degrees Celsius on his thermostat and turn up the air conditioner to 32 degrees Celsius.
Come on, Smithy, for the last time, Iqaluit is way too cold for Malcolm, so he can't go. Plus, he always needs the furnace on to heat him up in the winter months, and he always needs the air conditioning on to cool him down in the summer months.
Well, it's too late.
Smithy, stop it. Like we said before, the heater on Malcolm's thermostat must remain at 20 degrees Celsius, because he always needs the furnace on to heat him up in the winter months. And the air conditioner must remain at 26 degrees Celsius, because he always needs the air conditioning on to cool him down in the summer months.
One more thing, Dylan just informed me that Zeta went to tell you, so you could punish Malcolm, correct?
That's correct. Sid just informed Zeta that Malcolm brought his sister's keyboard to school this morning.
That's true, because Sid ruined her music by unplugging it and killing the battery last night. But that doesn't mean you can call Mr. Kuyak to call Sue to send Malcolm to Iqaluit. And besides, he's Scarlett's brother.
Nope, not anymore.
Knock it off. If Sue sends Malcolm to Iqaluit, his sister might start crying again. So you see, last night she cried because her keyboard was dead.
Yeah, so this better not happen again.
Okay, listen to me, Sue. Malcolm wasn't supposed to bring his sister's keyboard to school this morning, so I'm going to have to tell you one more time and then I want you to do everything I say. So first, send him to Iqaluit, then, leave Nunavut and return to Ontario, okay?
Mr. Kuyak, how many times do I have to tell you, I am not going to send Malcolm to Iqaluit, and that is completely the end of it.
Alright, Sue, now I am going to have to tell you for absolutely the last time and then I want you to do everything right. The reason for this is that Malcolm brought his sister's keyboard to school and the rule for bad electronics during class. So first, send him to Iqaluit, then, leave Nunavut and return to Ontario, because I think he will stay there until summer break, so you can send him back to Ontario, okay?
Mr. Kuyak, I said no, so bye.
I better call Smithy about this.
So Mr. Kuyak, did you call Sue to send Malcolm to Iqaluit?
Yes, but she didn't listen.
Wait, what?
You see, I tried to make her do as I say, but it didn't work. So I'm afraid I must go. Goodbye.
See, Smithy, we told you. Iqaluit is way too cold for Malcolm, so he cannot go.
Well, you know what? I'm afraid I have no choice but to call the police to arrest Sue, because she refused to listen to Mr. Kuyak after he told her to send Malcolm to Iqaluit.
Excuse us, Smithy, but we don't think you can do that.
Stop, right there. Sue, you are under arrest for refusing to listen to Mr. Kuyak after he told you to send Malcolm to Iqaluit. You do not have to say anything, but it may harm your defense. If you do not mention one question, something you may rely on in court. Anything you say will be giving you evidence. Understand?
Yes, officer, I understand.
Thank you. And also, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say will be used against you in the court of law. You have the right to an attorney. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed to you. Now come with me to the police car. Because I think you will stay in jail until after the weekend.
What the? Right, that's it. Zeta the sorceress has gone too far this time. Your mother and I are going to have to call her about this situation, because we want her to know why she did that to Malcolm.
Yes, but Dad, I just got contacted by Smithy, and he said Sue didn't listen to Mr. Kuak after he told her to send Malcolm to a caloot.
That's true. You see, a caloot is way too cold for him, so he can't go. And besides, he did the right thing by bringing his sister's keyboard to school.
Because you ruined her music by unplugging it and killing the battery last night.
Excuse me, but why are you calling me?
Because we need to tell you something about Malcolm.
What is it now?
Zeta, why did you tell Smithy to punish Malcolm?
The reason is that he brought his sister's keyboard to school this morning when the rule prohibited electronics during lessons.
Excuse us, Zeta, but he doesn't understand the school rules. Besides, he's just a little boy and he can do whatever he wants.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, it's already too late. Smithy already called Mr. Kuak to call Sue to send Malcolm to a caloot. You see, I heard him telling Mr. and Mrs. Casagrande about the League of Entitled Karens. First, they are going to get Malcolm's suitcase ready, so they can go to his room and pack everything up in it. Then, they can call Air Canada van to come and take it to the plane called Air Canada. Finally, they can lower the heater to 7 degrees Celsius on his thermostat and turn up the air conditioner to 32 degrees Celsius.
Excuse us, Zeta, but Malcolm always needs to turn on the furnace to heat him up during the winter months, and he always needs to turn on the air conditioning to cool him down during the summer months. Thus, the heater of his thermostat must remain at 20 degrees Celsius and the air conditioner must remain at 26 degrees Celsius. And by the way, our son told us that Sue refused to listen to Mr. Kuak after he told her to send him to a caloot.
He said, what?
That's right. And that's okay, because it's way too cold in a caloot for him, so he can't go. So the reason he did the right thing by bringing his sister's keyboard to school is because our son ruined her music by unplugging it and killing the battery last night.
Well, Malcolm had no right to do that. And besides, Sue was supposed to listen to Mr. Kuak, because he wasn't supposed to get your son in trouble.
Come on, we are not doing this again. Sue had the right to leave Malcolm in Ontario, because Nunavut is not a good place for him to live.
I don't care. And that's just too bad, because Smithy already called the police to arrest Sue. So deal with it.
No, we are not going to deal with this crap. Seriously, Zeta, we are not going to tell you again. Sue doesn't want to be sentenced to prison, because she did nothing wrong.
Yes, she did. Stop arguing with me already. This is really getting on my nerves. Smithy had the right to call the police on Sue, because she was supposed to listen to Mr. Kuak. And it's also because Malcolm brought his sister's keyboard to school this morning when the rule prohibits electronics during lessons. So, like I said, when Sue gets sent to jail, deal with it, and that's it.
For the last time, Zeta, Sue did the right thing, 'cause a caloot is not a good place for Malcolm to live. Now, after Sid's suspension is over, let him apologize to Scarlett.
Oh my gosh, why are you doing this again? Stop, now. Sid is not going to apologize to Scarlett. And I don't care about a caloot being too cold for Malcolm. So I am not going to repeat this again. Smithy had the right to call the police on Sue, 'cause Mr. Kuak specifically told her to send him to a caloot, and she refused to listen. Now, I am not going to tell you again. Deal with having her been sentenced to prison immediately.
For crying out loud, Zeta, we are not doing this over and over again. We are not going to deal with this crap, and that's the end of it. And we're not going to repeat this over and over again. After Sid's suspension is over, let him apologize to Scarlett, and that's final.
Gosh, you've done it many times now. You know what, that's it, I've had quite enough. Goodbye, and don't ever call me back again.
Hey. Don't you dare hang up, you are not going anywhere until...
Scarlett, if you let Sid apologize to you, you'll end up being banned from school and kicked out of Ontario. You want that? Then you better stop. You are never, and I mean, never, ever going to let him apologize to you.
Randall, I just got a call from Malcolm and he said you were making his sister sad. So tell me the truth now. Did you really do it by telling her that she would never let her son apologize to her?
Yes I did.
That's it. I have no choice but to tell my wife about what you did.
Honey, did I just hear that Randall made Scarlett sad by telling her that she's never gonna let our son apologize to her?
Yes, he did.
Right, that's it. I've had quite enough. I'm going to have to call Agent Henry about this situation, because I want Officer Chris to know what he did to Scarlett.
I'm sorry, Randall, but I'm afraid you're gonna have to deal with getting arrested by the police. Good afternoon. Who is calling me?
Good afternoon, Agent Henry. This is Mrs. Phillips, Sid's mother. I'm calling to tell you, because you are not going to believe what Randall did to Scarlett.
Oh, and what is it?
You see, Agent Henry, I hate to say this, but it appears that after our son ruined Scarlett's music 2 weeks ago, Randall just made her sad by telling her that she's never gonna let him apologize to her.
What? Are you serious? Why in the world did Randall make Scarlett sad by telling her that she's never gonna let your son apologize to her? He should realize that refusing people to do something is not okay. Don't worry, Mrs. Phillips. I'll tell Officer Chris to arrest Randall right away. And you are right. Your son must owe Scarlett an apology for what he did to her 2 weeks ago. Thanks for telling me.
Anytime.
Have a nice day.
You too. Bye.
Excuse me, but what did I just hear?
You see, Zeta, Randall refused Scarlett to let our son apologize to her, which made her sad. So I had no choice but to call Agent Henry to tell Officer Chris to arrest him.
Randall, you are under arrest for refusing Scarlett to let Sid apologize to her, which made her sad. You do not have to say anything, but it may harm your defense. If you do not mention one question, something you may rely on in court, anything you say will be giving you evidence. Do you understand?
Yes, Officer Chris, I understand.
Good. And also, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say will be used against you in the court of law. You have the right to an attorney. If you can't afford an attorney, one will be appointed to you. To the police car we go. It's jail time for you, which is until Christmas break.
Excuse me, Officer Chris, but there is no way Randall is going to get arrested.
Mom and Dad, what color was the sun after it appeared over the horizon?
Sid, we're glad you asked. The sun was perfectly red, and it's getting brighter while rising. You see, I already took a picture of it. Want to see it?
Okay. Wow! I've never seen the sun like this before.
We know. So be careful.
Why do I need to be careful?
The reason is that nobody wants to hurt people's eyes after seeing the sun while it's so bright. You see, sunrise was at about 7:45.
And now that your suspension is over, when you get to school, you are going to apologize to Scarlett.
Yeah, and don't forget to promise her, and you must tell her that you will never ruin her music again.
Yes, Mom and Dad, I will remember.
Thank you, Sid. You may go back to your room until it's time to get ready for school.
Excuse me, Mr. and Mrs. Phillips, but didn't Zeta tell you this already on the 30th of November? She told you Sid wouldn't apologize to Scarlett. So now you are going to piss off Zeta again?
Well, Miss Trunchbull, just a little.
But there is no way she can stop him from apologizing to her. And besides, he ruined her music the night of November 29th.
That's correct. So we told him not to forget about promising her, And we also told him to tell her that he will never ruin her music again.
All right, that's it, Mr. and Mrs. Phillips. I'm afraid I have no choice but to tell Zeta about this situation.
You don't have to tell me, Miss Trunchbull. I heard them loud and clear. They just told Sid to apologize to Scarlett. You can go back now.
Okay, Zeta.
Oh great, here we go again, dealing with Zeta.
I know, honey. This isn't going to be good.
That's right, it's Zeta again. What have I told you on November 30th?
Sid is not going to apologize to Scarlett?
Correct. So why did you tell him to do it?
It's because he ruined her music the night of November 29th.
Yeah. So he must not forget about promising her, and he must tell her that he will never ruin her music again. And what is Mr. Morris doing here?
Zeta, did Mr. and Mrs. Phillips get on your nerves again?
Yes, they did, Mr. Morris. And I can't deal with them anymore. I'm done. I'm going to my lair to calm me down.
Ah, we did it again.
I know, this is just unacceptable.
Yep, you got that right. Zeta specifically told you on November 30th not to let your son apologize to Scarlett.
Well, we are sorry, but he's going to apologize to Scarlett, and that's it. And he also needs to promise her, and tell her that he will never ruin her music again.
So Mom, when Sid gets to school, he must apologize to my sister Scarlett.
That's correct, Malcolm. And he must not forget about promising her, and he must also tell her that he will never ruin her music again.
Guess what, Dr. Brad? The sun was perfectly red, and my mom already took a picture of it. So she told me to see it, and I was surprised. I've never seen it like this before.
Neither have I, Sid. Now, when Scarlett arrives, apologize to her, promise her, and tell her that you will never ruin her music again. Understand?
Yes, Dr. Brad, I understand. Scarlett? I need to owe you an apology. I'm sorry for unplugging your keyboard and killing the battery. I promise I will never ruin your music again.
Sid, I'm glad you'll never mess up my music again. And I know you didn't like it, so your apology is accepted.
I have to agree with Scarlett. Now, Sid, listen to me. If you still hate her music, just leave her keyboard alone instead of unplugging it and killing the battery. The reason is that it can make her sad. Do you think you can do that?
Of course, Dr. Brad. I think I'll try something else. And you are right. Unplugging her keyboard and killing the battery doesn't make her happy.
That's what I wanted to hear. Thank you.
Wait, what? Are you kidding me? Scarlett already accepted Sid's apology, just because he said sorry to her, promised her, and told her that he would never ruin her music again? Well, that's it. I've had enough. I'll tell Mr. Morris, Miss Trunchbull, and Karen to have a word with her when she gets home from school, and then I'll go back to my lair to call Mr. Quack to call Lee to send her to Arviat. And also, I will call the headmaster to ban her from school. I'm so sick of Scarlett, for good. Guys, you are not going to believe what Scarlett did.
Oh no, please don't tell us it's true.
I'm afraid it is. You see, Scarlett accepted Sid's apology, just because he said sorry to her, promised her, and told her that he would never ruin her music again.
She did what? Oh, for crying out loud. How dare Scarlett do this? She needs to be sent to Arviat by Lee for accepting Sid's apology.
I have to agree with that.
Yeah, I know, and that's why we are having a word with her right now.
Oh my god, Mom, I think Zeta, Mr. Morris, Miss Trunchbull, and Karen are going to confront my sister. Can you please follow me to Smithy's factory house?
Oh my gosh. Yes, Malcolm, we'll go to Smithy's factory house.
Oh no, this isn't going to be good.
No, Dad, it isn't.
Guys, why do you look so angry?
Scarlett, we are angry is because you accepted Sid's apology. Is that correct?
Yep, that's correct. I accepted his apology because he said sorry to me, promised me, and told me that he would never ruin my music again.
Yep, we thought so.
So just for that, you are now banned from school and kicked out of Ontario for accepting Sid's apology.
No, Scarlett is my sister.
I agree with my son, and she is also my daughter.
Nope. She is no longer a part of your family anymore. So yeah, little girl, my husband, my precious daughter, and I are going to get your suitcase ready, so we can go to your room and pack everything up in it. Then, we can call Air Canada van to come and take it to the plane called WestJet. And finally, on your thermostat, we can turn the heater down to 45 degrees Fahrenheit and turn the air conditioner up to 90 degrees Fahrenheit. That's right, Scarlett. So I'm sorry, but I'm afraid I have no choice but to go back to my lair to call Mr. Kuak to call Lee to send you to Arviat, and I'm also going to have to call the principal to ban you from school.
Hello, this is Mr. Kuyak speaking. Who is calling me?
Hi, Mr. Kuak. You are not going to believe what Scarlett did.
Okay then, what did she do?
You see, she accepted Sid's apology, just because he said sorry to her, promised her, and told her that he would never ruin her music again. She was supposed to deny it, not accept it.
What? Are you kidding me right now? How dare Scarlett do this? She should know she was supposed to deny Sid's apology, not accept it. Don't worry, I'll call Lee to send it to Arviat right away.
Thank you. Bye.
Hello, who is this?
Hi, Mr. Klutz, Mrs. Jeffy, and Dr. Brad. I need to tell you something about Scarlett.
Well, what did she do?
I'm glad you asked. You see, she accepted Sid's apology, just because he said sorry to her, promised her, and told her that he would never ruin her music again.
Well, Zeta, this morning I told Sid to apologize to Scarlett, promise and tell her that he would never mess up her music again, so she could accept his apology.
Yep, I thought so. So please do me a favor and ban her from school.
No, we are not going to ban her from school.
Yes. You are.
Come on, Zeta, you know the answer. And besides, Scarlett did the right thing, 'cause Sid said sorry to her, promised her, and told her that he would never ruin her music again.
I don't care about that. Seriously, I am not going to repeat this over and over again. Ban her from school, and that's final. Also, Karen and her family will turn the heater down to 45 degrees Fahrenheit on her thermostat and turn up the air conditioner to 90 degrees Fahrenheit.
Excuse us, Zeta, but Scarlett always needs the furnace on to heat her up in the winter months, and she always needs the air conditioning on to cool her down in the summer months.
That's correct. So the heater of her thermostat must remain at 68 degrees Fahrenheit, and the air conditioner must remain at 78 degrees Fahrenheit, and we are not going to repeat this again. The reason we are not going to ban Scarlett from school is because she did nothing wrong.
Guys, for the last time, the reason you have to ban her from school is because she accepted Sid's apology. And it's also because he said sorry to her, promised her and told her that he would never ruin her music again.
Well, we're still not going to ban her from school, okay? So goodbye.
Okay, listen to me, Lee. Scarlett was supposed to deny Sid's apology, not accept it. So I'm going to have to tell you one more time, and then I want you to do everything I say. So first, send her to Winnipeg. Second, send her to Rankin Inlet. Third, send her to Arviat. Fourth, leave Nunavut and return to Manitoba. Last, leave Manitoba and return to Ontario. Okay?
Mr. Kuwiak, how many times do I have to tell you, I am not going to send Scarlett to Arviat, and that is a capital final.
Alright, Lee. Now I am going to have to tell you for absolutely the last time, and then I want you to do everything right, because Scarlett just accepted Sid's apology. So first, send her to Winnipeg. Second, send her to Rankin Inlet. Third, Send her to Arviat. 4th, leave Nunavut and return to Manitoba. Last, leave Manitoba and return to Ontario, because I think she will stay there until summer break, so you can send her back to Ontario, okay?
Mr. Kuwiak, I said no, so bye.
I better call Zeta about this situation.
So Mr. Kuwiak, did you call Lee to send Scarlett to Arviat?
Yes, but she didn't listen.
What the heck?
That's right. You see, I tried to make her do as I say, but it didn't work. So I'm afraid I must leave. Goodbye.
Okay, that's it. I've had quite enough of Lee refusing to listen to Mr. Kuwiak. I'm going to have to call the police to arrest her, so she can stay in jail until after the weekend. Freeze. Stay right there. Lee, you are under arrest for refusing to listen to Mr. Kuwiak after he told you to send Scarlett to Arviat. Come with me to the police car now, because I think you will stay in jail for the rest of the weekend.
So Sid, did Scarlett accept your apology?
Yes, Mom and Dad, she did.
That's good to hear that.
But like Dr. Brad said, if you still hate her music, just leave her keyboard alone instead of unplugging it and killing the battery. It's because it will make her sad.
Yes, I'll try something else.
That's what we wanted to hear.
Mom and Dad, where's Randall?
Don't worry, Hannah, he's in jail until Christmas break. See, we already called Santa to put everyone on the green team on the naughty list for trying to punish Malcolm and Scarlett for doing nothing wrong.
Yeah. And Santa already put Karen, her entitled crew, and her family on the naughty list. The reason is that they tried to set the thermostats for 2 little kids to the wrong temperature.
Oh my goodness. Thankfully they failed.
Absolutely. You may go to your room.
Mom and Dad, I think it's Karen McCarronson.
Great, here we go, dealing with that entitled Karen.
Thanks for telling us, Sid. You may go back to your room.
That's right, it's me, Karen. Now what did I just hear?
We have no idea what you are talking about.
I heard you two telling your daughter about me, my entitled crew, my family, and all my friends on the green team being put on Santa's naughty list. Is that correct?
Absolutely. The reason everyone on the green team is on Santa's naughty list is because they tried to punish Malcolm and Scarlett for doing nothing wrong. Also, the reason you guys are on Santa's naughty list is because you tried to set their thermostats to the wrong temperature.
That is correct. Now, listen to our words. They still need the furnace on to heat them up in the winter months, and they still need the AC on to cool them down in the summer months. So, on Malcolm's thermostat, the heater remains at 20 degrees Celsius and the air conditioner remains at 26 degrees Celsius. And, on Scarlett's thermostat, the heater stays at 68 degrees Fahrenheit and the air conditioner stays at 78 degrees Fahrenheit.
One more thing, when it's bedtime, they can turn the heater down and turn the air conditioner up on their thermostats.
Oh. So what will they be?
We are glad you asked. On Malcolm's thermostat, the heater will be at 18 degrees Celsius, and the air conditioner will be at 28 degrees Celsius. And on Scarlett's thermostat, the heater will be at 65 degrees Fahrenheit, and the air conditioner will be at 82 degrees Fahrenheit.
Okay, I get it. But I don't want Santa to put us on the naughty list.
Nope, it's already too late for that.
I don't care. Now call Santa to take us off the naughty list, because we don't deserve it.
Come on, we are not going to call Santa to do that. Seriously, Karen, we are not going to tell you again. After what he did to you, your entitled crew, and your family is deserved for trying to set Malcolm and Scarlett's thermostats to the wrong temperature. Plus, after what he did to all your friends and the green team is deserved for trying to punish them for doing nothing wrong.
All right, you two, stop it, that is enough. We are not gonna be put on Santa's naughty list, and that's that. So, like I said, call Santa to take us off the naughty list, and that's it. Also, call Santa to put these two little kids on the naughty list, because they did all this to my friends on the green team on purpose. Come on, Karen, for the last time, Malcolm and Scarlett had the right to do that, because you and all your friends deserve to be on Santa's naughty list for doing all kinds of bad things. What the? No, we're not going through this again. Please, just stop it already. How many times do I have to tell you? Call Santa to take us off the naughty list, and call him to put these two little kids on the naughty list now.
For goodness sakes, Karen, stop it right now. We are not doing this again, for crying out loud. We're not going to call Santa to take you and your friends off the naughty list, and call him to put these two little kids on the naughty list, and that's the end of it. Now, we're not going to repeat this again. Deal with being put on Santa's naughty list right this instant.
All right, fine.
That's what we wanted to hear.
So yeah, this will teach everybody on the green team, including Karen, her entitled crew, and her family, a lesson for doing all kinds of bad things, like
trying to punish Malcolm and Scarlett for doing nothing wrong,
and trying to set their thermostats to the wrong temperature.
So Karen, how did it go?
Zeta, two people didn't want to call Santa to take us off the naughty list, just because we did some horrible things in the past. Also, they didn't call Santa to put these two little kids on the naughty list, just because they did to us on purpose.
Wait, what?
Oh, 4, crying out loud.
Why in the world did Mr. and Mrs. Phillips not call Santa to take us off the naughty list? And how dare they not call him to put Malcolm and Scarlett on the naughty list? I'm going to have a word with them right now.
That's a good idea, Zeta. Besides, Mr. and Mrs. Phillips were supposed to call Santa to take us off the naughty list, and call him to put Malcolm and Scarlett on the naughty list.
Oh, here we go again.
I know. And we do not know how many times we are dealing with Zeta.
That's correct. Karen just informed me that you two didn't want to call Santa to take us off the naughty list, and call him to put Scarlett and Malcolm on the naughty list. Is this true?
Yes, Zeta, it's true. The reason we decided not to call Santa to do that is because Malcolm and Scarlett didn't do anything wrong. And it's also because you and your friends have done all kinds of bad things.
Yep, I thought so. So now I won't ask you again. Call Santa to take us off the naughty list, and call him to put Malcolm and Scarlett on the naughty list. Why? It's because they just did to me and all my friends on purpose. Do it, right, now.
What the? No, not that again. We are not going to repeat this over and over again. Zeta, like we told Karen before, we are not gonna call Santa to take you and your friends off the naughty list and call him to put Malcolm and Scarlett on the naughty list, and that's final.
Mr. and Mrs. Phillips, last warning. Call Santa to take us off the naughty list, because we don't deserve it. Also, the reason you have to call Santa to put Malcolm and Scarlett on the naughty list is because he brought her keyboard to school the morning on November 30th, which was against the school rules. And it's also because she accepted your son's apology this morning. So, either you do that right now, or I will call Santa myself. Your choice.
How about no? We are not gonna call Santa to take you and your friends off the naughty list and call him to put Malcolm and Scarlett on the naughty list, and that's the end of it. Besides, he did the right thing by bringing his sister's keyboard to school the morning on November 30th. Cause our son ruined her music the night on November 29th. And also, she did the right thing by accepting our son's apology, cause he said sorry to her, promised her, and told her that he would never ruin her music again.
Right. You two have lost your privileges. I'm going to have to call Santa, All by myself.
Oh, great. It looks like Zeta didn't care.
I know. This is just unacceptable.